An article in a current magazine asks the question, what can I believe? And the question is answered by the Dean of Harvard's Divinity School, Dr. Samuel H. Miller, who says, have faith in God. During the past few weeks, I've spent some time on university and college campuses. I find that people on every level are saying that something is wrong, and they all say that it ought to be righted. Students admit that they find no purpose or meaning to life, that even at the university they are offered no direction. Even the church is beginning to ask, what can religion offer men in times like these? They do not want a pat on the back, a shot in the arm, a bit of eyewash to make the world look better. One student was asked, what do you believe? Nothing, he replied. For what would you die? Nothing, he answered. We're living in an age of relativism, skepticism, cynicism, and agnosticism. Many persons claim to be relativists. They say that everything is relative to something else. For them, even truth is subject to change. Morals are relative to them and can be changed as the circumstances require. There is no such thing, they say, as right or wrong. Others claim to be skeptics. They're doubtful about any of our inherited traditional beliefs. They are ready to throw out the Ten Commandments and the Sermon on the Mount, which has been the basis of the American way of life. There are others who are cynics. They scoff blatantly at religion and morality as being cast-offs of ox-cart days. Others are agnostics who proclaim, I do not know, and I refuse to believe what I do not know. Ours is a time of drastic changes, scientific and mechanical changes, industrial changes, social and educational changes. We live in larger houses, eat better food, travel by swifter vehicles, use more effective medicines, and we enjoy new types of recreation. We have an idea that we no longer need God or religion or morals that our forefathers had. However, many of our leaders are beginning to realize that we cannot live by bread alone. Externally, the world is changed, but internally, the heart of man is the same. We're beginning to realize again that love, faith, hope, honor, valor, courage, and righteousness are still valuable traits. We thought we could rear a generation of the uncommitted and get away with it, but we're beginning to learn that committed men can lead to annihilation. Instead of throwing away our inherited fund of spiritual and moral wealth, we need to reinforce it and use it. Jesus said, what shall it profit a man if he gain the whole world and lose his own soul? Or what shall a man give in exchange for his soul? We might say that of the nation. What shall a nation give in exchange for its soul? What will happen to a nation that loses its soul? Bishop Gerald Kennedy says, there has grown up among us a class of people whose religion consists, for the most part, in being open-minded about everything and convinced about nothing. A generation that has tried to live within the framework of relativism is frightened to death of the idea that there may be absolute truths which can neither be dodged nor manipulated. End quote. Yet today, we do try to manipulate absolute truths. Magazine articles are calling for a new code of ethics and morals which would conform to the standards about us. We live in a world where millions of persons have uncommitted minds and uncommitted hearts. Free and democratic nations face the totalitarian challenge without a public philosophy which free men believe in and cherish, without any public faith beyond a mere official agnosticism, neutrality, and indifference. We must put God back into our world. We must again accept truth as immutable, observe the moral laws, and give attention to the culture of the soul. Our decaying foundations must be relaid and fortified. Our relativism must be transformed into a relationship to God, skepticism into trust, cynicism into hope, and agnosticism into faith. In the midst of a changing world stands the unchanging and unchangeable Christ. He is the same, the Bible says, yesterday, today, and forever. In Him and Him alone can we find the strength, the stability, and the certainty for tomorrow. Christ alone can bring truth to the mind, cleansing to the heart, and power to the will. Christ alone can restore the soul of America. This is why we travel everywhere from coast to coast, preaching Christ as the answer to the ills of the nation.